I guess I was turning 50. I kind of always wanted to climb the 7 summits, even though I've been paid to guide the rest of them. And I've done the other 6. I've been thinking about Kili for quite a few years, and then found out you could paraglide off it, and I thought, oh, that'd be a cool thing to do for my 50th.
Our group consists of 5 of us, all from the Southern Lakes region.
Geez, they're a bunch of riffraff. We weren't fussy, we took anyone we could find. Yeah, a group of mates that we fly with back home, and yeah, people don't mind walking up for about 5,000 metres and with possibly not even flying down.
They gave me a price and I just about fell off my chair.
KFC stands for the
Kilimanjaro financial crisis.
because it's not cheap to climb in Africa.
And I thought I'll never pay that.
It's not a cheap mountain to climb. It's not a cheap place to go.
And yet here I am.
Yeah, we sort of come up with a light-hearted way to ease the pain of the emptying of our accounts.
It's going to be an adventure of a lifetime.
And here we are.
I had actually read about this flying off Kili before in Cross Country magazine. I read it and the first thing I thought is that would be cool. I'd love to go and do that.
After the long flights from New Zealand, we were glancing out the window and we saw Kili just towering above the clouds. First glimpse, and we're like, oh my goodness, that is one big mountain.
It's the highest freestanding mountain in the world, so the altitude from the top to the bottom is the biggest possible glide you can do on the planet. And I kind of specialise in glides because I'm pretty rubbish at cross country.
F***'s sake! Want to buy a cheap wing that doesn't fucking work?
I'm not too worried about the climb, you know, just go slow and we get to the top, and then I'm pretty ambiguous about the flying. I'll sort of decide when we get there whether I'm going to fly or not. It's obviously a 6,000 metre mountain and it could be quite dangerous.
I'm probably the most inexperienced of all the pilots, but we're all at a pretty good intermediate level, except for Cathal. Cathal flies tandem paragliders with tourists in Queenstown, so he's an old hand at this. And then lastly, we've got Chris, also from Queenstown, who runs a restaurant, so he's a great connoisseur of the local food.
If conditions are perfect, I'll fly. If they're not, I'll more than happily walk down. And yeah, I'm here for the adventure. I'm not here to get scared or hurt myself. So yeah, just going to go have a look, really. Experience this beautiful mountain.
On the first day when we arrived, we went to Arusha National Park. I was a little bit disappointed that I thought I wasn't going to go and see that Ngorongoro and the Serengeti, and the places we were going to go weren't that famous. So I was kind of going, oh, maybe it won't be that good. And we're just sort of driving through the bush and there's nothing, and we come around this corner and there's this massive open plain, and basically it was like stepping into the Lion King. There were like zebras and giraffes and warthogs and everything just hanging out there right in front of us.
As a wildlife photographer, it's been my dream to come to East Africa for a long, long time.
We saw so much stuff in Arusha National Park, just up the road. I was just blown away.
During our first week here, we went southeast into the Pare Mountains and the Usinbara Mountains. These were 2 quite remote mountain ranges off the tourist path. Because of this, we saw very, very few other tourists, and we got a chance to explore some national parks and try some hike and flies in the mountains.
We went up these 2 mountain ranges, the Usinbara and the Pare Mountains. There was like these big mountains out of the plateau, and we drove up, and they're quite lush. You know, they're cooler on top, 1,500 metres above the valley, and they're quite lush. They had a bit of rain on one end, and the other end was really dry. And it was, yeah, lots of small villages with people growing vegetables and farming. Yeah, it felt quite remote, like it felt off the beaten track. When people looked at you, they were pretty surprised to see a tourist wandering around. Yeah, I don't think they get many tourists.
Trying to find a takeoff point in some of these places is really quite difficult. the landscape is quite heavily forested or quite intensive agriculture. So pretty much any flat or open spot is taken up with structures or crops. So finding a launch facing the right direction for the wind is not easy.
Come to a launch spot here, and the wind's blowing the wrong way and it's raining. But we have hope. We're para waiting.
So this is Carter, right?
Yeah, this is my father.
And this is your father?
This is my father, Mr. George.
Mr. George.
That is since 1991.
1991.
Yeah.
And Carter was a hang gliding pilot.
Yeah. That was handbag. This one was a parachute.
He was a parachute.
Yeah.
It's a nice looking paraglider, right?
Yeah, sure.
Easy to spot.
So
This is
the house
Yeah, yeah.
where Cathal live.
These are nice memories, eh?
This is a Cathal. His friend called a Paul. This is a falcon. This is the dog. Because my father also is a teacher, so teach
So-
some command.
He'd fly with the Falcon?
Yeah, he flies with a falcon.
And then they go around?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
cool.
after the falcon.
What year is this photo?
In 1992.
Wandering down this wee track, trying to find ourselves a launch here in Utai. And so far it's not looking super good, but the conditions are awesome. So as soon as we get off the hill, it's going to be all on. Hot day, very light winds, base is rising, supposed to be up to 3,000 meters today. We're launching at about 1,600, so there's plenty of height opportunity there, and fly our way down to the Mkozi National Park. That's our mission.
Oh yeah, the first hike and fly that we pulled off. Probably the best flight of my life actually. It was really cool. We found a little spot, we did a bit of weeding, pulled out a few sticks.
Taking off in a place that had never been flown before, this particular spot, into conditions that we were a little apprehensive about. Haven't flown for a while because we've been on a plane, getting here, the heat, all these things. It could have made it quite an intimidating spot to go from, but it didn't bother Richard. He just popped the wing up and off we went, and next minute he was at cloud base sort of laughing at us. So yeah, he led the way, and we tried to follow.
That was close.
Got set up and took off, and yeah, scratched around a bit. But I got into some thermals and caught up with Richard, and we flew along this ridge up and down. It's probably a kilometre or two each way, and we just got lift the whole way.
A few of us got lift straight away and went up onto the ridge line, and straight away we were above some of these really remote villages, and the noise coming from them was just amazing. There were shouts and screams and whistles and singing. People were just genuinely so excited to see a flying person. And so we circled above these villages, slowly moving from one to the other as we went cross country. And I vividly recall flying over one village, which was full of people in the streets. Someone looked at me, screamed, and everyone disappeared inside their houses, every single person, and they didn't come back out again. So I can only imagine what was going through their minds, what they thought this paraglider was.
Oh, the landing was something else. So I've flown once before in China, and so I had a vague concept of people arriving and being bewildered by a paraglider. But in China I had about 10 friends arrive, and within about a minute I had about 200 friends have arrived to see what on earth this crazy white man would do next. They were just staring at me going, what's he going to do? First thing I did once I'd packed all my stuff up was to ask for a boda, it's a motorcycle, and I jumped on that thing and we just went whoosh. So then we drove and went all the way down to the designated meeting point, and we cruised out here, and now I'm just hanging out waiting for everyone to arrive. First to goal, not the right way I suppose, but I'm here and I'm safe, and there's no one around so far, which is alright.
It would have been funny to be watching me come down, because I kind of came into land and the wind came in behind me unexpectedly, and I skidded across the land and face planted in the dust, and this big puff of dust, and I just fell down, and there was a family of 4 only a few metres away, and I stood up with a big smile on my face and went, yeah! And the look on their faces was like, oh my God, I think they thought, where did this white man come from? This guy's fallen from the sky and he's happy. And then there was just a swarm of people, 200, 250 people came out from this village, and the kids were singing and cheering and laughing, and they just crowded around us, and it was such an amazing family vibe, and yeah, it was really special. Got talking to a couple of them who spoke English, and they took us to a little building. It was kind of a cafe, and there's a friendly lady in there who had a fridge with cold beer and a cool fan and a couch, and we hung out until the other guys picked us up. Yeah, so we almost got a motorcycle and went and found Richard, but then we're like, hang on, we've got beer, shelter, a fan, and it's comfortable. Why would we do that? Richard could be somewhere really uncomfortable. Dan was bound to be somewhere uncomfortable, sheltering under a small tree. So yeah, we gave ourselves top marks for landing site selection.
But just such a cool adventure, and landing. I landed in a school field. It got pretty rowdy, so I picked the biggest space possible. Rowdy, the wind was picking up quite strongly, but a nice safe landing, and straight away hundreds of school kids surrounding me. They were great. They were singing, they were chanting, they helped me pack up my wing. I think everyone after that day felt just the energy from the Tanzanian people. It was kind of infectious.
Yeah, it's pretty cool being a rock star in another country.
How was that? Pretty special. The first night we camped out in the bush, no fence, and then the next morning we went on an early morning game drive and we saw 4 lionesses hanging out under a tree. We were able to get ourselves in a position where we could see the 4 lions and Kilimanjaro in the background and our mates in the other truck. And yeah, it's kind of, that's the postcard image if ever you want one. We went for a walk after dinner, and a few of us heard the noises of a few big cats growling, and so we kind of made our quick exit back to the vehicle, and then off we went. And it turned out that we hadn't heard cats. We'd heard a herd of about 40 odd elephants that were cruising across the savannah, and that was really special. Even our local guide said that it's unusual to see that many elephants all together, so yeah, we're pretty lucky for that.
So I was almost at the top, where we hit quite a large lump, snapped off the rear shock of the bike, so it's turned into a bit more of a hike and fly than I intended. But too many beers and too many pies I did.
Doesn't seem to get the big thing now. Or is that smaller than a surprise? Pretty similar. A little shit. Oh. My trousers were moving. Where are they coming from? They're coming out my shoes or something.
All over your back too.
Okay.
Take your clothes off.
I can't put anything down.
Use your hat.
It's going to get covered in ants.
Use your hat or bash them off your back.
Shit, they're all over you. Is there actually any ants? No, there's no ants.
Africa's known to have the big five, but we've been so well looked after, I think the five of us are becoming the big five. But we all get on well, a lot of laughs, and I think that's going to be important coming into this next week as we climb Kilimanjaro, or attempt to.
I know it's going to suck in terms of the altitude. It's going to be hard. We're going up quite quickly in the scheme of things, and so even people who are good at acclimatising will find it physically difficult in terms of the headaches and the altitude symptoms.
So the challenging factors that might stop me flying would be too much wind, wrong direction wind. I could be feeling really shitty on top, or it could be too much cloud where we can't see where we're going or can't see the landing.
But fingers crossed, we'll be back here next to this pool, having a cold beer in a week's time, having flown from the top of Africa. These guys are just amazing. What a set of high activity behind me. We left before them. They packed up our camp, all these tents. They passed us, carrying all this stuff, and now have set up camp before we arrived, so we can walk straight back into another tent, probably 20 minutes before they serve us nice hot lunch. It's definitely a different kind of adventure than I've ever been on before, but I'm going to like it. Thank you. We've got a home, Dan. Let's go
sweet.
And get comfy.
Yeah, sweet man. So coming onto the plateau here, and it's just enormous. The scale is pretty hard to comprehend. Just dirt and rocks as far as the eye can see, right?
Every day since we started walking has been, from our point of view, unplayable. So maybe we climb it to perfection.
Including today at the moment, eh?
We definitely wouldn't be flying today.
A big cat cloud on top and
Fresh snow.
fresh snow.
Well, the good news is everyone's feeling good.
So far so good.
So far so good.
Hard to get them. Talk amongst yourselves. Who carried this? Who carried it? Lummy. He gets the first piece. Yeah. Thank you. To the summit.
Make it look like we'll be flying off Earth. No. Here we go. Mr. Seven! What the hell?
Here we are, Mount Kilimanjaro, 7th summit. Congratulations, mate.
Woohoo!
Cool thing to do with a bunch of friends. Now we just need the winter jobs and fly back down to the pub. Don't like our chances, but we'll be here.
Yeah, this is the part of the film I was going to put all that incredible footage of us launching off the summit, with the savannah stretching out 5,000 metres below us. However, strong winds forbade any attempt to even contemplate paragliding, and we descended Kilimanjaro on foot. As we reminisced on our adventure, it was a great reminder about the importance of the journey and not so much the final destination. There's a great quote from adventure paraglider Nate Scales, who says, "I love where paragliders take you, and I love where paragliders take you."
Kilimanjaro, hakuna matata, hakuna matata.